Hello, and welcome to Creating a Duffel Bag for Duffel Bags and More. This will be the kit that you will receive. Your kit will contain a mini kit, which contains your zipper, your label, your strip of Velcro, and your strapping. The material is already pre-cut and serged, and the package will contain 2 side panels, 2 zipper panels, 1 pocket, and 1 body. And the body, as you can see, is already pre-marked. We'll go over the marking later. Also, when sewing, we're going to sew with the color thread that matches the material. The only time we will use colored thread is when we're attaching the strapping. Otherwise, everything is done in the thread of the material. Our first step is to take one of the side panels. We are going to attach our label to the side panel. Now make sure you have the side panel and not the pocket. The pocket is smaller than the side panel. We insert the label onto the wrong side of the side panel. We're going to attach it approximately 2.5 inches from the bottom and center it. And then you're going to sew around the edges of the label, and your finished product will look like this. Next, we're going to prepare the pocket. Now, make note, our pocket is 10 inches by 9 inches. It's not square. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold in 1/2 inch on each of the 10-inch sides, pin this, and then the top we're going to fold down between 1 inch and 1.25 inches and pin that. Your end result will look like this. Press this on the iron. No need to stitch, just press everything on the iron. Make sure you flip it over and press here again. Once we have our pocket press, we're going to take our strip of Velcro, separate it, put one piece aside. The other piece we're going to center on our pocket, and then we're going to sew it onto the pocket. Our end result will look like this. Now we have our pocket complete, and it's going to be ready to be attached to our side panel. Our next step, we're going to attach our pocket to our side panel, and it's the side panel that contains our label. We flip the panel over, so now we have the right side facing us. We flip the pocket over with the right side facing us. We match the bottom, the pocket, and the panel, and center it. It should be 2 inches on either side here. Then we're going to pin the pocket, and this is what our end result. You'll see here that I have no pins up here. Reason being, I'm going to fold this flat back, and we have our 1 strip of Velcro. I mark the material around this corner of the Velcro, around this corner of the Velcro, and a little spot across the middle. Then I'm going to fold this back, my other strip of Velcro. I'm going to match it up to my marks, and now I'm going to sew my other piece of Velcro here. Once that is complete, I fold it back down. Then I take my ruler, and I'm going to mark a little spot 1 inch in from the edge at the top on either side, and 1 inch down the side on either side. This is for our reinforcement squares. So now I'm going to sew up the side, across the top, right to our marking, and then from this top marking down to the side marking. Then I'm going to move over to this side, sew up this side, over to the marking, and then diagonal down to the other marking. Now, our pocket and side panel are complete. I'd like you to see the opposite side of the panel with the pocket so you can see the stitching. So this is our right side, and then when you flip it over, you can see we stitched up the sides across the top. It's okay that we went over the Velcro stitching, but then we have our corner squares, which is reinforcement for our Velcro. So now this is, you can see the Velcro is tight. So now we have our pocket. Now we're going to insert our zipper onto the two zipper panels. First things first, remove any hanging threads. Okay, so all my hanging threads are removed. I lay my zipper down with the raised part of the zipper is on facing up, and the zipper pull is facing up. Wrong side of the material is facing up. We center it on our zipper, and we're going to stitch right along here using our zipper foot. I've just finished sewing the zipper on one side of the material, so I'm going to flip right sides up now, finger press, then I'm going to attach the other side. Now I'm going to line up the sides here and line. First I'm going to pin the corners on either side and then work my material so it lays flat, and then I'll sew this down again, which will result in our completed piece. So we have both sides sewn on the zipper, and now we need a top stitch. So we're going to pull a material tight, even iron down the thing, give it a flat surface, and then you can see our top stitching. And notice the top stitching is in the same color thread as the material. That is what we prefer. Oh, so our next step are attaching the pocket panel and the non-pocket panel to our zipper panel. We prefer that the label goes up on the end where the zipper pull is. The non-pocket side panel will go at the bottom. We line it up so our ends meet. It's best to pin each corner and then work your pins into the center. On this end, it's very important, pull your zipper open before pinning and attaching the pocket. Otherwise, if you'll find out, if you don't do that, your zipper will only go to here. So before attaching your side panel, open your zipper. Then you're going to stitch along here. I also do a back and forth over the zipper part for reinforcement. Once you have sewn this, is your completed project. Pocket, non-pocket panel, and your zipper is open. Now you have your two zipper panels and two sides halfway done. Our next step will be work with the body of our material. As you can see, our body is pre-marked, but if by chance you get one that's not pre-marked, our line is 5 inches from the edge, and we stop 3 inches from the side edge on each side. 5 inches, 3 inches. So I'm going to take my strapping, which is already folded in half. I'm going to find the center. Here's the seamed. Find the center. Once you find the center, put it on the center mark here and pin it. Then you're going to work out from your center. Make sure your strapping is on the inside of the white line. We want to cover the white line, but make sure the strapping is on the inside of the white line. I'm just going to pin this real quick so you can get an idea. I also, when I pin, when I get to where I'm supposed to stop, I do put a pin on each side. Then I'm going to come across the inside of my strapping will also be the inside of my strapping on the other side. So I find the middle, place it on the middle mark, pin it. Do the exact same pinning where you stop. And my inside remains the inside. You also want to mark the center of your body on the edge. This is going to help when you attach the pockets. Once you finish pinning, you can see I've pinned it here to stop. Inside continues to be inside. That's very important because you do not want your straps to end up being twisted. Now we're ready to sew our strap. And very important, make sure you put the color thread of your strap in your machine. You're going to attach the strap with the same color thread. So I've sewed down, across, down, across, down, across, down, across. Flip it over, you can see the stitching. Our next step is we're going to mark corner X's. So you take your ruler, mark in 2 inches from the top seam, mark your material, and then make an X. You're going to do this on all 4 corners, or all 4 strap ends. You're going to do the same over here, and then you're going to sew. So this is what the long side of your material is going to look like. You have the X's at each end. Now the body of your duffel bag is complete, and we're going to attach our zipper and our side panels. Now we're down to just 2 pieces, our body and our zipper and side panels. Now remember, we marked the center of the length of our body. We need to mark the center of our side panel. This will help us attaching these 2 at a later point. So now you're going to right side to right side. Now pin these together, move to this side, and then pin this side together here. Sorry, having a hard time grabbing a pin. Then you're going to pull it tight. Your strap must be on the inside. No strap. Strap is on the inside. Then you're going to pin this down. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Strap on the inside. This side. Make sure you don't get your straps caught in your pinning. And then pin this side. Reason that I pin the ends first is because it's easier to ease material in through here than at the end. You want your seams all to match so you have perfect squares or near perfect squares when you turn your material inside out. Okay, so this is all pinned. Now I'm going to go and sew these together. So I'll be right back. Okay, I finished my sewing. So I've sewed this. What I'm going to do is make sure I open my zipper, because you don't want to sew the side panels on with your zipper closed. Next, remember how we marked the center of our body and the center of our pocket? We're going to line these marks up and pin. So this is different than what the directions show, but I have found doing it this way makes your corner a crisp corner instead of trying to ease the material in and having a puffiness. So we're going to pin this here, and we're going to do this on both sides. And then we're going to sew across the bottom. So let me go sew both, and then I'll be back. Okay, I just want to remind you, I changed back to the blue thread. Remember, we only do the red thread on the red strap. So I changed back to my blue thread, and I sewed the bottom of the side panel to the body. Remember, this is different than what the directions say, but the directions was easing the material in. Now, after I sewed this, you can see all I have to do is pull the material and everything lines up. There's no easing of any material. It all just matches up. So this is all pinned. Now I'm going to go do this on all four, sew these, and then I'll be back to show you our finished product. Okay, I just completed. So our side panels have now been attached to the body. I'm going and making sure all my threads have been trimmed. Don't want loose threads. Now I'm ready to turn our duffel bag. Oh. So I want to make sure I'm pushing the corners out, top corner, to make sure it's all closed. All the seams have been met. This is my bottom corner where I said, you know, if you do the new way instead of the way the instructions, this is how your corner now looks. It's more square and there's not bunchy material. So we have our bag. Whoops, see, like I have chalk mark right here. very important, remove this chalk mark. It'll come off with a wet wipe very easily. Just wipe it right on there. It comes right off. Same if you have any strapping marks, white chalk marks on the strap, little wet wipe. Voila, it's all gone. Okay, so all my corners, all the seams have matched. So now I have a duffel bag and then a dot bag. So our set will include one complete duffel bag with a matching dot bag, and this is what each of our foster children will receive. And we want to thank you very much for helping us out with our projects. Thank you.